like the feeling that I had as a child, the perfect summer thriller, right? Yeah. Hello friends and welcome. My name is Lena and this is where I talk about books. I am just doing a quick little video here sharing my TBR as well as some other recommendations for this year's Summerween Readathon. Summerween is hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte, and it goes from July 7th to the 13th this year. I love Summerween. I look forward to it all year long. It's really easy to fit a good TBR into the prompts. There's room for bigger books and smaller books and graphic novels and all the good things. So first prompt is a book that has Halloween colors, black and orange, on the cover. So when I was looking at my shelves and trying to pick my TBR, the first one that I thought of was Stephen King's The Talisman. This is one of my friend's favorite books of all time, and so she's always like, you have to read it, you have to read it. And so it's absolutely one that I do want to read, but it's close to 800 pages, so I'm not sure the readathon is the time for me. But if you are one who is really good at just plowing through a book and getting it done real fast, then this could be a good one for you. Another one I thought about was Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This is, I think, maybe the only one by Grady Hendrix that I haven't read yet. It doesn't have orange on the cover. I mean, it has a tiny bit of orange on the cover, but it does have black, so it still kind of fits the prompt. Another Grady Hendrix, How to Sell a Haunted House, if you haven't read it yet. I just finished this one, so it's not one that I'm going to be reading, but it totally fits the black and orange prompt and is a lovely cover. So the one that I am going to be reading is going to be The Hacienda. This I got last year as a book of the month, and for whatever reason I still haven't gotten to it. I've heard great things about it, and on the inside flap it says Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca, and I love both of those books, so I'm very excited for this one. I hope my expectations aren't too high, but I think that I'm probably going to start with this one. The next prompt is to read a book that is set in spooky season. So a couple that I pulled. One is, I read this during Summerween last year, and I can't remember what prompt I had read it for. Pumpkinheads. It's a graphic novel, so it also fits the graphic novel prompt as well, but it just is full of those Halloween spooky vibes, so enjoyable. This one is a middle grade, but small spaces, especially the first chapter of this, when it's just describing the time of year and that kind of thing. This absolutely gave me the feeling that I had as a child when Halloween and fall and spooky season was just beginning. So I really enjoyed this one in that regard, and for a middle grade it's still quite spooky. And the one that I am going to be reading is All Hallows by Christopher Golden. I think this was released fairly recently, but it takes place on Halloween night in 1984, so can't get more spot on for spooky season than Halloween night, right? So, yep. The next prompt is to read a thriller, and I tend to rent thrillers from my library more so than buy physical copies, but I do have two on my shelf that I have wanted to read this summer. So the first one is Our Wives Under the Sea. This has been on my shelf for quite a while, and I can't believe I haven't read it yet, but it does feel like it could be perfect for this time of year. And the one that I think I'm actually going to be reading, because I'm also joining a read-along on Instagram, but Jaws, which is just the perfect summer thriller, right? I think the original said that it was a super thriller on the cover. So I haven't read it, and it's been a very long time since I've seen the movie. Obviously, I know what it's about, but it is time for me to read and enjoy this. The last reading prompt is to read either a graphic novel or a novella. This is the one I have the biggest stack for, and I guess it's because I like my graphic novels to be spooky. But I also have 2 novellas pulled as well. So I have Carmilla, the book that inspired Dracula. Toe forgot it for me for Christmas this year, and I haven't read it yet. I've been putting it off. This is one that I am thinking about, as well as The Salt Grows Heavy. It's like a retelling of a fairy tale, but I don't know what fairy tale, but it follows a mermaid. Maybe it is The Little Mermaid, because it says, you may think you know how the fairy tale goes. A mermaid comes to shore and weds the prince. But what the fables forget is that mermaids have teeth, and now her daughters have devoured the kingdom and burned it to ashes. Okay, so this may just be jumping to the top of my reading list now. And then for graphic novels, Through the Woods. This is the kind of the first one that I always think about. For some reason, I keep putting it off because I just like want to save it. And people have said that like when they've read it, like it's actually like really quite spooky. But I think it takes place in winter, so I might save this for Winterween. Squad, which is like a werewolf graphic novel, and so that one could be a great one for this readathon. The one that I think that I have settled on is Unfamiliar, about a little witch named Planchette. She's a lonely kitchen witch, it says. Between these, it's quite an assortment, I know, but the ones that I am like really sure. See, I've got like 5 that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to read these. So I'm a little bit struggling to narrow it down from here. Yeah. Oh, I know, because one other prompt is to read a book in the dark, so it's perfect. I will be reading The Salt Grows Heavy in the Dark. This is going to be my graphic novel, my thriller, my book that takes place during spooky season, and then my book with black and orange on the cover. So there you have it, my Summerween TBR. Are any of these books on your TBR for the readathon this year? If they are, please comment below so that we can share our thoughts as we're reading along in the week to come. So I hope that you enjoyed this short little video, maybe got a good recommendation that you can fit into one of your prompts for Summerween, and yeah, I will see you next time. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Bye!